All right, now that you've got your common size statement and your average column, I want to take a look at the balance sheet. And in particular, the balance sheet is a relatively long financial statement. Right here we've got close to 30 rows of categories. And when you forecast, every row that you have gets a value driver and gets forecasted unless it's a subtotal item like total assets. It won't get a value driver, but it still gets forecasted. So the first few rows, and everybody's statements are different, is current assets, right? These are assets that are going to be turned into cash within a year if they're not already cash. Then we have fixed assets, things that are turned into cash in more than 1 year. These are long-term assets. Then we have liabilities, current liabilities, and then we've got long-term liabilities and shareholders' equity. If we take a look over at our percentages, sometimes we'll see that there'll be a category of assets for which the percentages, right, as a percentage of sales, are quite low. For instance, current tax assets and other assets, both for Hershey's, are a very small percentage of sales. On the long-term asset side, we've got deferred long-term assets and other assets that are a relatively small percentage. Then down here on the liabilities, we've got deferred long-term liabilities, minority interest, and other. So in each of these cases, I'm going to consolidate the statement just a little bit more in order to reduce my number of lines just a little, or my number of rows. You don't have to do this, but it can be useful, seeing as how we need to forecast every item that we're left with on the balance sheet. So these 3 sets of items have relatively small percentages, and I can consolidate them into another category. And in each case, I'm going to call that other category other current assets, or in this case, other assets, and in this case, other liabilities. So the first step is to add a row beneath the 2 that you're trying to consolidate and sum those 2 up. I can do that here. I can do it here. You can do it adding, or you can use the sum function. Either way is fine. And now that we have a new category that takes the place of 2 or more other categories, it would be nice if we could just come back and delete these. But if we do that, we'll lose this item. So the solution to that is to copy these and paste special, where we bring only the values and number formats. Then we can delete all 3 of these other rows that we don't need. The only issue that we're left with is that we lose our connection with the common size statement. So I just want to take the formulas and bring them down so that now this new category of other current assets is actually reflected as sales, or as a percentage of sales. Then we can get rid of the color that we assigned it. Always get rid of the colors when you assign them colors is in order to bring your attention to them, or you end up with a statement that's all colorful and you won't remember what it was colorful for. So we'll do the same thing here. Other assets, copy, paste special, bring the values and the number formats, delete the extra rows, and then bring down these formulas so that you actually have a reference to that year's sales. This can have no color. Then we're good. And then the last time, drag it down. We're good. Get rid of the color. So that reduced our balance sheet by a number of items. You may see something like that on yours. Feel free to make the adjustments so that you aren't forecasting extra things that you don't need. All right, that's great. Happy calculating. See you next video.